remember on Trigger Warning, there was this one scene when you went to an old folks' home, and there was an old white woman who said most crimes are committed by black guys.
Yes.
And she was so unapologetic. And
well,
so,
she was earnest. She wasn't unapologetic.
Yeah,
like,
earnest.
Yeah, because she didn't say it like proud that was the case. She was just earnest in that's what the news had told her. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just interesting seeing when you talk about the disconnect in generations.
Yeah.
You got to see someone who was probably in their 80s.
Yeah.
who really believed that, most crimes.
That's what the news tells
are done by black guys.
That's what the news tells
Even in places where there are no black guys.
That's what the news tells
Somehow
her. We show up in Iowa and fuck shit up, bro. We're Idaho, ho.
yeah, man. And then, in the last episode, you actually start your own country.
Yeah.
New Africa.
Yeah. I put my wife on the money like any dictator would do.
Yep. And, that was an interesting episode. I like the other episodes a little bit better. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But it was a cool little kind of wrap up. And I liked how you kind of included people from the previous episodes.
Yeah, I mean, that's because that's what this country really is. And this country has become a place of reality. TV is the reality. And part of the absurdity of the last episode was that there was a surrealism in that, am I watching something real or stage? Well, it was real.
Yeah.
Because by then, everyone had suspended disbelief, and they bought into it. So what was interesting to me about the end is the person that had been the heel or antagonist for a few episodes in Mario, unscripted, becomes the patriot of sorts because he refuses to disavow his individuality. Yeah. And that's what Killer Mike does. Yeah. So the person who is at one time a heel or a crook or a criminal, much like the people who founded America, becomes a patriot, right? And then you get my man Sir Major, who's a tireless advocate on the behalf of the poor and the unchampioned in the real world. You put him as the head of law enforcement, and you get a chance to see his personality become more like the personality he pushes against, Yeah. So you have to really, what it makes you do is start to look at yourself from a different perspective. Where am I an oppressed and where am I an oppressor? And we have to accept that there's a duality in all of us. I am a black man, right? The words of a white woman can get my ass killed. Straight up. And if you don't think that's true, the woman who got Emmett Till killed is still alive.
And she admitted she was lying.
Ain't nobody locked that old hoe up.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody took this bitch to trial.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody went up to her house and drug her out of her shit like we would do a Nazi and drag her back for a trial in Israel. We haven't done that, right? Right. But as a black man, my plight is still not that of a black woman. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I interviewed Bill Duke.
You interrupted me right now with saying black women aren't worth anything. So you got to listen to this part.
Okay, go ahead.
Me, in all my suffering and bullshit, my tireless champion, my tireless fighter and ally and advocate next to me has been my woman. So much to the point when black men got the right to vote, and Frederick Douglass said in 1865, blacks and women deserved the right to vote. He was 100 years ahead of the curve on everyone, right? Because black men got the right to vote first in places like South Carolina, the person who protected the church where they were voting from, who had the rifles to make sure the Klan didn't disrupt the vote, were black women. Yeah, and only after the abolitionists split between women's suffrage and abolitionists did you start to see the Daughters of the Confederacy pop up and them Confederate memorials and statues, and that history got rewrote because two allies were split after that. So for what I'm saying is, as bad and tumultuous as I think my time is as a black man, I have to recognize the suffering that's even far greater than an appreciation of black women. So you know what I mean? That's so we all have to recognize that we're villains to someone in someone's movie.
Yeah, and I was going to say that I interviewed Bill Duke, who was actually alive. He was like a teenager when the Emmett Till thing happened, and he really. So you were 12 years old when Emmett Till happened.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
I want to get emotional, but how can you forget it? Did you ever see the pictures?
Yeah.
After they took him from the lake? Looks like a monster, face bloated and half gone. Because they said that he's like a child, right? And that he whistled or something at a white woman. And do you know that years later, she came forth and said he never did it?
Yeah.
He died because of that.
I've never talked to someone who actually experienced that time,
Yeah.
and you could tell how hurt he was even thinking about it.
And to know that this woman is walking around, uncharged. Uncharged, dog. We know we can lock up old folks. We lock up Cosby, old ass, lock this old bitch up. Lock this hoe up.
Well, listen, Killer Mike, I know you have to go.
I do. I sincerely appreciate it. We friends. Can you come around this side of the camera, man?
Let's do it.
So people know he was actually here, man. Love. Vlad TV.
But yeah, man, I appreciate you doing an interview with me along with, Stephen Colbert and all the other,
I'm gonna keep coming,
man. Big time places you going to.
You and Joe Rogan were my favorites this run, man.
I like that.
And I get to do the Breakfast Club.
I like that. Until next time, Killer Mike, make sure you watch Trigger Warning on Netflix.
Yeah. And follow Vlad Stocks. Best follow.
Follow Vlad Stocks. Is there a new Run the Jewels album coming soon?
Run the Jewels 4 is we'll be in LA recording soon. So you'll see us out here recording. I'll get L to come on. We'll actually do a Run the Jewels 4 interview.
I've been wanting to do both of you guys forever.
I'll talk L into it.
Okay, that's what it is. Peace.
All right, peace.